Under the golden glow of Dubai's endless skyline, where power meets poetry and silence holds the secrets of 1,000 hearts, there lives a prince whose words have moved the world. Beneath the royal crown lives a poet of love, Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed Al Maktoum, known lovingly as Fazza. To many, he is the crown prince of Dubai, a symbol of vision and leadership. But to those who listen closely, who read between the lines of his verses, he is something far deeper, a poet whose soul bleeds emotion, whose pen speaks truths that even kings hesitate to confess. His words are not merely written, they are felt, like a heartbeat echoing across the desert. Behind every title, every royal duty, lies a man who feels the weight of love as intensely as the weight of his responsibilities. Sheikh Hamdan's poetry has become a window into his heart, revealing not just his strength, but his tenderness. He writes not for fame or for praise, but for connection, a bridge between his soul and the world. Each verse carries a piece of him, a whisper of longing, a confession of faith, a cry of love. He is proof that greatness is not only in ruling kingdoms, but in touching hearts. His words are delicate yet powerful, the kind of beauty that can only come from truth. In his poetry, love is not a game or a luxury, it is sacred, eternal, and divine. He writes of devotion the way the ocean loves the shore, endlessly, without promise of return. He has said that love is the only crown that cannot be removed. And perhaps that is why his verses strike so deeply, because they come from a man who has lived both power and pain, yet chooses to speak softly, through love. There is a rhythm to his writing, like footsteps on warm sand, like waves kissing the shore at dusk. He has the ability to turn silence into song, heartbreak into hope. The heart never forgets what the soul once recognized, he once wrote, a line that has since echoed through millions of hearts. His poetry captures what so many feel but cannot express, that love, even when lost, is never wasted. It becomes a memory that shapes who we are, a light that continues to burn quietly even after the fire fades. Sheikh Hamdan's poems often read like letters never sent, to love, to time, to destiny. He writes of moments that slip through fingers like grains of sand, of gazes that changed everything, of promises made under moonlight. Yet, even in pain, there is always grace in his words. He never writes to blame, but to understand. His poetry carries the gentleness of forgiveness, the belief that even the hardest heartbreaks can lead to softer hearts. That is what makes him not just a prince, but a poet of the people. Beneath the crown, Fazza is a man who has seen how fragile love can be, and yet he still chooses to write about it with hope. He has turned his heartache into healing for others, his solitude into solace for souls across the world. His followers wait for each poem like a sunrise after a long night. His words have become a kind of prayer for those who have loved deeply, lost painfully, and continued to believe quietly. Because when Sheikh Hamdan writes, he doesn't just speak to the world, he speaks for it. Even the desert, it seems, listens when he writes. The wind carries his words across dunes and into hearts far beyond his kingdom. The sand remembers her footsteps, he once wrote, and those words became an anthem for lovers separated by time and distance. The beauty of Fazza's poetry lies in its simplicity. It doesn't demand to be understood, it simply invites you to feel. And once you do, you are changed, because his verses are not just about love, they are love itself, dressed in words. There is a quiet kind of vulnerability in his art, a reminder that even those who wear crowns are still human. His poetry tears down the walls between royalty and reality, between privilege and pain. Through his verses, he reminds the world that a heart doesn't recognize status, it only knows how to feel. And in that truth lies his greatness. His power is not in his rule, but in his ability to express emotion fearlessly in a world that often demands perfection from him. Sheikh Hamdan's writing also reflects his deep faith, his understanding that love and destiny are intertwined by divine design. When God takes something away, he wrote, he replaces it with wisdom, if only the heart is willing to listen. His spirituality gives his poetry a timeless quality, a sense that love, loss, and longing are not random, but purposeful. His faith makes his words more than just art, they become guidance for those seeking light in the darkness of heartbreak.
Years passed, and people began to forget her name. But he never did. He built charities, wrote poems, traveled the world, yet everything he did seemed to circle back to her. The world called it obsession, he called it devotion. For a love like theirs doesn't die, it transforms. It becomes the soul of every sunset, the heartbeat of every quiet night. She might have walked away, but she never really left. One night, under the same sky that once watched her go, he finally spoke aloud to the wind, "You can take everything, the throne, the fame, the titles, but not her memory." His voice trembled, not from weakness, but from truth. For he had accepted that love doesn't always mean possession. Sometimes, it means letting go and loving from afar. That was his royal vow, broken to the world, but sacred to his heart. In the solitude of his poetry room, surrounded by candles and ink, he still writes for her. Each poem is a silent conversation, each word a step toward the version of her that lives only in his memory. Her name rules his heart like a queen who never needed a crown. She reigns not through presence, but through permanence, an empire of emotion built within his soul. And when history speaks of him, they will mention his leadership, his poetry, his grace. But the truth will live between the lines, that Sheikh Fazza once loved a woman so deeply, so purely, that even after she walked away, she remained the ruler of his heart. For love like that does not end, it echoes, eternal, unbroken, royal. Sometimes, he dreams of meeting her again, not in palaces or cities, but here, in the place where it all began. The dunes bathed in golden light, the air thick with memories. In that dream, she smiles, and for a moment, all the years of pain fade away. No crowns, no distance, no rules, only two souls that time tried but failed to separate. He wakes up with tears on his face, whispering her name to the dawn.
For the stars take time to align. Those words hold the tenderness of a man who forgave the past, who still believes that even broken hearts deserve another sunrise. The city that once wept for his heartbreak now waits for his smile to return, for Hadia Zen to walk beside him again, hand in hand, beneath the stars that once witnessed their love.